Hello, welcome. I'm Kumika Takii. I'm going to talk about how rabbis contributed to the acceptance of LGBT+ in Orthodox Judaism. I am interested in this topic because I am a queer person who grew up in Japan where only a few people talk about it. Contrary to my home country, Israel is recognized as a LGBT+ friendly country, although there is some criticism of pinkwashing. Still, I think studying its history could provide valuable insights into the process of tolerance. It of course interweaves a number of factors, but because of the time limit, this podcast focuses especially on rabbis because they only exist within the Jewish community and make it LGBT+ activity distinctive among the world. I am going to first talk about their works for inclusion and next the problems in it, and finally make an argument about what we Japanese can learn from them. Rabbinic interpretation of the Bible can be changed through with the times. There are several verses in the Hebrew Bible which have been used to eliminate LGBT+ people from religious communities. The most famous one is Leviticus chapter 18 verse 22, which says, "Thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind. It is abomination," in KJV. Another one is Deuteronomy chapter 22 verse 5, which says, "Women must not wear male clothes," and vice versa. Although no rabbis can change this fact, some try to make them suitable for sexual minorities. For instance, Rabbi Stephen Grunberg offered one path in his book Wrestling with God, published in 2004. He proposed what Leviticus bans is restricted to only exploitative and humiliating relationships, and the chapter does not prohibit male-male sexual interaction itself. Unfortunately, his interpretation is far from being accepted with much blame, but changing rabbis' common sense might be an inevitable road for LGBT+ activists, especially in solving halachic problems. This idea is well expressed in the book Queer Judaism, published in 2023, with this passage. If the halakha leaves an entire category of people without adequate answers, how can it claim to be a systematic and comprehensive moral, ethical, legal, and practical guide? Then, let's go on to look at how rabbis enacted rules which Jewish people have to follow in everyday lives. They have been enthusiastic for assigning roles to each individual according to their social status, health condition, and gender, Professor Katsumoto at Kyoto University says, although he does not mention sexual minorities in his book Living Judaism, published in 2016, the idea that making strict rules based on detailed category of people can be found in sorting genders as well. No less than 8 gender designations appear in the ancient Talmud. Each gender group had different rules to follow. Although such regulations were still strongly based on male and female dualism, it is noteworthy that those who were neither men nor women were allowed to combine the two roles. For example, while one of such category, androgynous, was expected to show male characteristics in many points including clothes and marriage, they were not permitted to inherit a fortune like sons and eat sacrifices served only for men. Like this, rabbis have categorized people, including even sexual minorities, and had detailed discussions about their laws. Therefore, it seems that they can be a good guide for LGBT+. However, I think it is too early to believe this conclusion now because their discussions did not always stand on the real voices of those who were struggling with their sexualities. There were of course many rabbis who tried to remove gays and lesbians from Jewish community. How well they understand issues about sexuality really depends on the person. We can convince it by looking at various rabbinic opinions in the panel discussion held in Jerusalem in 2018. Maybe you should stop asking us and just live your lives. Rabbi Rosenzweig said, "We are listening and hearting with you, but we do not yet have answers." Rabbi Wilk said, "We do have answers." Rabbi Greenberg said, "The inconsistency in opinions is also seen among Orthodox LGBT+ people. While some activists continue discourse with rabbis, others give up asking questions to them or regard it doesn't matter anymore whether they give us permission or not." Other negative comments come from Jericho Vincent, who teaches genderqueer Torah. Whenever they see people praise ancient rabbis for being progressive enough to talk about various sexualities, suggested by the 8 gender example I showed, They cannot help having a mixed reaction. This is, the praise should be justified only when it works well, and applying it to the current situation doesn't mean it also works well today. It implies that establishing rules for LGBT plus is not enough to say it is useful to them. Given these two aspects, here is one question I have to answer. Are rabbis really necessary for shaping a gay-friendly atmosphere in Jewish communities? In my opinion, the answer is yes, because some rabbis are appearing who succeeded in solving halachic problems of queer Orthodox lives. Again, Queer Judaism 2023 introduces some stories, such as an observant gay who estimated Rabbi highly, saying he helped him navigate the intricacies of dating a non-observant man. In another case, a mother consulted several rabbis and received a satisfactory response to her daughter's query about how to bring a same-sex partner to a Shabbat dinner. In spite of several LGBT plus individuals who are trying to cut ties with rabbinic authorities and several rabbis who are trying to kick out sexual minorities from Orthodox communities, I predict more and more people in both sides are taking steps together to find answers. Finally, I am going to discuss what we Japanese can learn from them. Rabbis, of course, are unique to Judaism, and we cannot apply what they do directly to the situation in Japan, but I see two helpful lessons here. First, interpretation can be changed according to the times. Even halakha, which has a long tradition and strong connection to the Jewish way of life, have been changing. On the other hand, I hear many Japanese politicians state homosexuality collapses the Japanese traditional value of family, although such family view is getting less and less visible because of the increase of divorce rate. It sounds weird that we Japanese cannot change it, though we have less enough reason to keep it. Second, discourses can lead us to an answer for a specific person. There are, of course, extremely many conflicts concerning LGBT plus remain to be resolved, and there might be no absolute answers. However, rabbinic enthusiasm for trying to show roles for its community members is something to be imitated. Japanese also should have more open space to talk about this topic. In summary, this podcast focused on rabbis and examined their works regarding LGBT+. Although there is no completely LGBT+ friendly atmosphere, they seek a way of coexistence rather than separation. Their open attitude toward change and discussion is something Japanese should imitate.